Let us watch Assault on Precinct 13, the trailer.
What the hell is this? Fun and games? Does anybody work around here anymore?
It was the night Precinct 13 was supposed to close its doors forever.
No offense, officer, but we'll close it down. We're short-staffed.
Central said we park here overnight until the road's clear.
Until Detroit's most lethal prisoners changed everything.
I'm responsible for everybody in here. That's my job.
I assume you know who I am, Sergeant.
You're a gangster.
That's accurate.
He's a cop killer.
Who the hell are you?
What the hell's going on?
They're surrounding the place.
Phones aren't working.
I found this out there.
Why are cops coming to kill us?
One of my partners in crime is your fellow officer, Marcus Duval. If I make it to court, his whole team goes to jail. They can't allow me to leave this precinct alive.
They can't allow any of us to leave here alive.
All right, choose a weapon. Anything you see.
The only thing more dangerous than the criminals on the inside
I got mine, baby. Buddy, you gonna trust these freaks? They need us as much as we need them.
are the cops. On the outside,
When this is over, you're going back to jail.
This ain't about me and you. Not yet.
We gotta put them all down. Without pause. Without regard.
from the producer of Training Day, Ethan Hawke, Laurence Fishburne, John Leguizamo, Ja Rule, Andrea Di Matteo.
We all gotta start trusting each other right now if we're gonna make it through this night.
Assault on Precinct 13.
All right, Assault on Precinct 13.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lights, camera, and action.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast.
Remember those childhood movies you loved? We're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Let's get ready to join Anna and Jimmy as they go back and watch those movies you remember being oh so awesomely good. Horror movies that scared. Comedy movies that dared.
Damn!
And action movies so preposterously ludicrous that they defied the laws of common sense. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
So you thought you were going to like the movie.
Yes, I did.
I did. The trailer was fine. I didn't think the trailer, after watching the movie, the trailer didn't do the movie as much justice. But okay, so what did you think of your initial thoughts of the movie?
My initial thoughts of the movie, good, solid action movie. But now I understand why I only saw it once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad because I forgot almost everything.
Me too. True story. When I was watching the trailer and they're like, Ja Rule, I was like, Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Ja Rule's in this? What?
And like,
I was
look, that's Kim Coates. Oh, that's Brian Dennehy.
Yeah, I saw Maria Bello and I was like,
the girl from that's Coyote Ugly girl, right?
yes,
Yeah.
she is Coyote Ugly. And then
Yeah.
Andrea Mateo is in it, who I
From
love.
Sopranos, yeah.
She really should have done more movies where she was just like a kick-ass woman who took no shit. I like that was I think she should have gone around shooting people more. But once I started watching it, like there was a lot where there was like, I don't know if her name is pronounced Aisha or Aisha Hines. She plays Henrietta on 911. So when I saw her, I was like, Henrietta. But there are so many people, so many actors that you recognize. Like Canadian actors, non-Canadian actors, like everybody. It's amazing.
Well, what I liked about this movie was I actually saw because I have not. I probably watched this back in 2005
I
or
think I saw it in
2006, something like that.
2007, 2008, whenever it hit the screens and like the TVs.
Yeah, change that blue. There we go. That's better. And I watched Assault on Precinct 13, the 1975 one. I think after like I watched it more recently. Again, haven't seen it since around 2006,
I
2007.
haven't seen it at all. The
Oh,
1970s
oh
one.
no.
No.
Well,
At least I don't think so.
they changed it enough because Assault on 13 1975 was about again a criminal being held at precinct 13, but it is his crew that
Mm.
assaults the precinct and is trying to get him out, and they're cut off,
Oh.
and so they changed it up here, which I appreciate. So if we want to go to Rotten Tomatoes,
Yes.
because I have not looked at, well, actually, I'm gonna go to Box Office Mojo
Oh,
first
yeah.
because I have not looked at any of this. I thought it was much more fun when I had no idea.
It's nice to discover it together.
Yeah, and I didn't even want to bring it up and have it ready because as soon as you do, you see it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna share. Doo, 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 doo.
It's new and exciting.
Yeah. All right. 2005. So I had a budget of 30 million. Oh, it only made 35 million worldwide.
Oh,
So it
Jesus.
didn't do well. But we're still
No.
in the rental period of 2005, so
Yes.
it might have recouped
Beyond the
everything.
box office, at home
Yeah.
rentals, they would have still made a good amount of money.
Yeah. And who'd you open? Did you open at number 1? Open on January 21st, not a great time to
No.
open. No. And it opened I think at 5th. Are We There Yet was number 1, Coach
Okay.
Carter.
Oh,
Meet
yeah.
Meet the Fockers, In Good Company, and Assault on Precinct opened up at 5th place with 8.6 million.
Okay, I kinda get it,
So,
why they
yeah,
would have been so low.
yeah. So, not and I said this, before the 2000s, early 2000s was known for comedy, just
Yes.
comedy at the wazoo, but there was a lot of action movies in the early 2000s like this with a lot of good actors in it and Um, yeah. So if you want to go to, I will start with the good, and if you want to find a couple bad,
Yeah. And Rotten Tomatoes?
Rotten Tomatoes. Do do do. Oh, it's that. Okay, here I'll bring this up for everyone to see. Where are you, Rotten Tomatoes? There you are. Okay, so 163 reviews comes in at 60%. That's not bad.
That's not
Mm,
bad.
no, no, 48% from the audience, over 50,000. That's surprising.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Usually the audience is a lot more forgiving.
Okay, so I have from if you want to look for some bad ones, I will look for some good ones. Sloan Freer for Radio Times. Every frame of this film crackles with raw energy as uh Richard cranks up the tension economically. Oh Jesus, maybe I should have done this beforehand.
As Riche cranks up the tension, economically exploiting sight, sound, and
Sound,
extreme violence to gripping effect. There
yeah,
you go.
3 out of 5. Thank you.
Do you want me to do a bad one now?
Sure.
Or okay, we'll
No, go ahead.
alternate. Yeah, a very empty experience when you pit it against Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13.
Hmm. No, well, I haven't seen that one in a long time, but
Yeah.
no, it's the same, but enough difference to make it worthy of existing. Assault on Precinct 13 is fun, engaging, and a little cliched, but amongst the recent crop of bland action films for the whole family, it stands tall as an example of how to do one right. Joshua Starnes, comingsoon.net.
Damn. Oh, shit. An idiotic remake of John Carpenter's Crackerjack B thriller from 1976 panders to the lowest common denominator by changing the original street gang villains to white cops. And that's from Chuck O'Leary. And I feel like Chuck didn't appreciate the rewrite.
No.
I didn't mind it.
No, Daniel Etherington from Film 4 says a dark, exciting, and enjoyable action thriller for adolescent boys of all ages.
There you go.
Hmm.
I am not an adolescent boy, but I mean, okay. The central problem with this film is its essential uselessness. It does its job, I guess, but the job was already done a lot better a long time ago. That score was 1.5 out of 4 from Kurt Loder at MTV.
Ooh, I remember Kurt Loder. I remember watching him on MTV.
Mhm.
Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can find someone. Okay, the premise may be outlandish, the action unrealistic, and sometimes silly, and the characters formulaic, but the movie rips and roars. 3 out of 4. Michael Willington, Chicago Tribune. So that's not bad.
Let me see. There were quite a few,
Yeah, there's a lot of
like,
there's a
pretty
lot of
decent.
yeah.
There's also just a lot of, like, although I will say this, there's one, this is actually a nice, one, I guess.
Yep.
Ken Tucker from New York Magazine / Vulture wrote, "Fishburne Fishburne even manages to make crass violence witty." And I'm like, "Valid. Valid, he's awesome." Yeah, most of them are kind of insulting good reviews.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have way too many good actors in this movie for it to like
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah, like, that's see, like this one, Mark Savlov from the Austin Chronicle gave it a score of 1.5 out of 5. He says it's not so much a case of being a bad movie as it is a pointless one. And
Most
I'm
movies
like,
are pointless.
right? I'm like, it's just to tell the story.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
we all
yeah,
can't. I don't want to watch like a uplifting and I don't want to be inspired every time I sit down on the couch.
tell me about it. I remember there was a time where everybody tried to like stick like deep meanings into every fucking movie that was made, and you're just like, can't we just have something fun?
Yeah. And I mean Ethan Hawke, I love Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke's amazing.
Reality Bites
Yeah,
fucked
Rally
Ethan
Bites.
Hawke for me because I'm like, dude, you're such a douchebag and you do it so well.
And that's
And
the thing,
after
he
that,
does mostly everything so well.
he is a very, very talented actor. And on
It is.
top of that, he's also a really great director and writer, which just makes me angry. But I mean, fine, whatever. Be super talented at everything. It's fine.
And his wife is talented. And actually his daughter's talented too. She was from Stranger Things. Yeah.
Yeah, Maya Hawke. I want to say that's her name.
Maya Hawke. But we got Laurence Fishburne,
Yeah.
Maria Bello,
John Leguizamo, Aisha
Gabriel
Hines,
Byrne, Brian
Brian
Denny. Yeah.
Dennehy. Curry Graham, I love, but he was also on one of my favorite TV shows of all time, and he played a great big douchebag, and I love him so much for that. He was on Stargate SG-1.
Well,
Oh
it's got
gosh.
a 6.4
Yeah.
on, which is again not bad. Let's do. It's got my lineup stars: Lawrence Fishburne, Brian. Yeah, it's the best nonstop action movie. Wonderful thriller, very good realistic film. That's McKinney. I don't know about realistic, but
I was gonna say.
worth your time and money. One of my favorite movies. French B+ movie. Oh, the director is French.
Yes.
Much better than the original. Badass police action thriller on New Year's Eve in the snow, winter.
Good solid action movie.
I've watched this repeatedly. I don't know if I could watch it repeatedly.
Eh,
A big, sexy sports car with a dent in the fender.
I mean, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Lethally violent, mean-spirited fun.
Nowhere near as good as the original, but worth a viewing. 7 out of 10. Good remake, but no competition for Carpenter. 7 out of 10. Not as good as the original. Assault on Common Sense.
Not a pleasant assault, but still watchable. They're okay.
Yeah, we're getting down to the
Yeah.
generic but enjoyable. Merely okay if you ignore the gaps in logic. Average siege movie, plot holes. Get your plot holes here. Ah,
Generic, uninspired interpretation of the original.
okay,
4
you hit the
stars,
fours.
fantastic.
I'll go to the
Uh,
threes.
this remake is not a beautiful and unique snowflake. Yet another dumb action movie, another remake where you should really just watch the original. It's a cinematic equivalent of junk food.
Sloppy,
Perfect.
boring remake, 3 out of 10. Terrible, simply terrible, 3 out of 10. Assault on Logic, 3 out of 10. Boredom Fortress, 3 out of 10. Another cult classic gets crapped on by Hollywood, 3 out of 10.
The first 2 out of 10 is amazing. It's "What is wrong with you people? This was garbage." B-grade urban actioner with a much inflated price tag, heartbreakingly disappointed. Uh, I like one of them is just blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
I mean,
Assault
yeah.
on Your Brain, Beyond Dumb. Assault on Common Sense, complete waste of time. One of the worst. Whoever greenlighted this one should have been fired. Typical moron fodder. Yeah, a
I
lot of
mean,
Assault on My Senses. Stupendously awful. Wonderful cast members need rent money. All right.
that's fantastic.
Okay. Well, let's go over this movie. And I think I will bring up this so we can maybe read along or you can help me.
I can definitely try.
All right. Following a failed sting operation in which 2 fellow undercover officers are killed months prior, Detroit Police Department Sergeant Jake Ronick begins to regularly abuse alcohol and painkillers while clinging to his unambitious assignment at a desk as a desk sergeant at Precinct 13, which is due to be decommissioned. The opening I thought was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed the opening. And there's nothing better than a drug deal gone bad and being outed as police officers and then everybody getting shot. I'm down for that. I feel
Yeah,
kind of bad though, because there she is. I recognize the actress, the one who played the female
undercover
cop.
cop at the beginning.
Yes. And I was like, "What do I know you from?" Because I know you. I know you. And it can't be Twitches because I saw that. But I'm like, what did I and I didn't get a chance to look it up, but I was like, I know her from somewhere. And she is a very if you've watched anything Canadian, she's in it. So I was like, "Oh, she's Canadian." That was nice. And then I didn't recognize the other cop.
No,
He dies
no.
before her, so I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. On New Year's Eve, Ronick, Officer Jasper O'Shea, and Secretary Iris Berry maintain a skeleton shift. Psychiatrist Alexander Sabian arrives to evaluate Ronick's fitness for duty. Yeah, so you get, and there was a couple other cops there when they were getting ready to leave. You get the
Yes.
whole idea. This movie, right, especially when he was on his way to work, it looked cold, it looked
Yes.
dreary, it looked fucking depressing as I looked out my window, going, God damn.
Yeah, we don't have anything dreary or snowy down here in Toronto, so it's just cold. It's cold as balls. But, yeah, no, when I see him getting into the car well, first of all, you see him waking up and you're just like, "God, you're a hot mess, sir."
Yeah, and he kept the dog.
He did. He kept the dog that got punched, and I actually made a note about the punching dogs because the Russians who were trying to buy drugs from him, one of them punched the dog, like, twice, and I was
Yeah,
like,
gotta show him
they
who's boss.
I literally wrote, "They fucking punched the dog, fuck them bitches." Because I can't. I get really angry when they abuse animals in movies, like, so angry. I have to fast forward through the beginning of John Wick because I can't handle the dog being hurt.
Oh, the poor dog. Yeah,
And I
the
can't, I
puppy.
can't. I can't do it, but anyways, he keeps the dog, and then he picks up an alcohol and drug problem.
Yeah,
But, I mean, he's not, like, fall down drunk. He's just always mildly intoxicated.
Yeah,
I
I've
don't
been
think
there.
that's helpful.
Crime boss Marion Bishop is arrested after killing an undercover policeman and is set to be transferred to prison with 3 other criminals, Beck, Anna, and Smiley. Now, I thought he knew this was a cop when he because they were doing a deal at the church.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I
I
okay.
think yeah, I think he's one of the dirty cops.
Yeah.
So he was all like, "Oh, I thought you knew how this would go. Like, do you want to come quietly, whatever?" And he's like, "Nah, fuck that shit." In church, in a Catholic church, on top of that.
Yeah.
So I actually really liked that kill. I was like, "Oh shit, Bishop is not just management. He's got some skills. He killed him real smooth, real clean."
Yeah.
And then he gets outside. The guys who are with the cop, they start shooting. His bodyguard like stands in front of him to like block him, gets shot. Bishop runs away, but calmly and coolly, dressed in a lovely wool coat.
Yeah. Well, it's Laurence Fishburne.
I know, right?
Yeah. When a snowstorm shuts down the roads, the prison transport is diverted to Precinct 13, where an unprepared Roanoke places the prisoners in cells. Yeah, so they're driving along, weather's shit, and
Getting shittier
they,
by the second.
yeah, the closest precinct is Precinct 13. And yeah, and Ethan Hawke's character doesn't even want him there.
Well, no, because at midnight they're supposed to be
Shut down.
like shut down. The computers are gone. Most of the like gear that was there is gone, so they don't have any weapons. They don't have like Kevlar vests or anything like that. Like it's literally like we're moving everything out, guys.
Yeah.
This is not the time to bring people here. And he's like, and I wanted to leave at midnight.
Yeah. So he tells them that he's not happy that they're there. And then he was going to make them like just wait out in the bus.
Yeah. He was like, nah, fuck that shit. We're not doing it.
And it was O'Shea, Brian Dennehy's character, that says, no, bring them in. They can't stay out there. So yeah, they go in and lock them up and start celebrating New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
Masked gunmen cut off the precinct's communications and electricity and attacked the station, killing the deputies before demanding that Bishop be handed over. If you didn't watch the preview, you would have thought that this was the bad guys breaking into the bottom of the
Yes.
precinct. Previews, like previews do, give so much away.
They do. But I mean, they really had to tell the story because it adds to the conflict that Ronek's
Yeah.
supposed to have, where it's like, or Ronek. I
Roanoke?
can't remember.
Roanoke?
Anyways, it adds to the conflict because now all of a sudden, like, he initially ran into problems because, you know, 2 undercover cops were shot, and now he sees corrupt cops who are trying to kill him, and he's like, "This is just cops are supposed to be my friends. I'm supposed to trust cops. We give our lives for each other." But nope.
Nope. I think it's Roanoke. Roanoke kills one of the attackers and find he's an undercover cop working under Captain Marcus Duval of Precinct 21, which is what's his name? Oh my god, I'm sorry.
It's okay, I forgot his name too.
Gabriel Byrne. Jesus
There we go.
Christ. Yeah. Good kill too. The thing right through the eye.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
That's a
was
good one.
fantastic. It was as soon as I saw that icicle, I was like, "Oh, he's gonna kill him with the icicle." And then he did, and it was amazing.
Bishop explains that Duvall and his team are corrupt and were formerly his business partners. They now plan to eliminate him to preserve their secret.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically Roanoke, Ethan Hawke's character, is under the conclusion that if now that they know, they're going
Yes.
to, because O'Shea tried to send him the Bishop out at the beginning. They're like, this is who they want. Let's just give him to it. And I agree with him. I would have tried to send him out too.
We all know you would have sent him out.
Yeah. I would have sent out
They
a
wouldn't
couple of
even
other
had
people
to have
too.
asked.
No.
The minute the guy with the gun comes in, you'd be like, "Who do you want?
Yeah.
You can take him."
Yeah. Put
Go
a
ahead.
little New Year's Eve hat on him.
I'm gonna close my eyes and count to 100, and if you're gone by then, oops, never saw you here.
The precinct staff and criminals form an uneasy truce. Heavily outnumbered and outgunned, Roanoke releases the prisoners and arms them to help defend the precinct. Their combined efforts repel several more attacks, eventually leading to a stalemate. Yeah, I like this action
Mhm.
of them trying to get into. Uh, it's a little like you think those guys outside being that heavily armed,
You'd think they would do better.
they were obviously SWAT, a bunch of them,
Yeah.
snipers, and you have an old man, a secretary, Ethan Hawke, and two-bit criminals.
Actually,
Uh,
one of them technically wasn't even a criminal.
the girl,
Her.
yeah,
He was like, "I was just looking for my sister, and then I
yeah.
got arrested. I didn't do nothing."
Who
And
knows how to load a Tommy gun and
you learn stuff, all right? Depending on what neighborhood you grew up in, you'll learn stuff. I'm there anyways, I'm not gonna get into that. But then there's Smiley, who is like, "Hi, I'm Smiley. I'm a Libra."
yeah. And then what's his name? John Leguizamo, Beck.
Yes,
Yeah,
who is just tweaking and,
yeah,
starting to come down off of his drugs. Looked a little greasy. Fantastic. But yeah, they do all decide to band together because they managed to fight off they managed to fight off the 2 masked gunmen who came in, who I think they were supposed to stay anonymous. But
yeah.
then they figured out, well, shit, one of them's a cop. They must be cops. And then the outside cops, the bad cops, tried to get in. And then Ethan Hawke is the one who's like, we all need to band together.
Uh-oh.
This is the most talking I've done all week. My throat is like
I've been yelling at my kids all week. I'm fine.
Yeah, see, all I have is the old man that I hang out with, and he doesn't really talk to me. We watch a lot of Portuguese TV at a ridiculous volume. So, anyways, Ethan Hawke is like, we need to band together. Sergeant Jasper O'Shea is like, no, they're criminals. Keep them locked up. We don't need them. And Ethan Hawke's like, dude, have you seen what's outside? Send Bishop out. I'm responsible for him. And you can tell Ronak is supposed to come across as a very serious cop, like who
Yeah.
really believes in justice and doing the right thing. And, he has a responsibility and he's going to stick to it and do it, even though he shows up to work kind of drunk. But what else? There's a lot of juxtaposition in him.
And for those that don't 100% remember, we had at the very beginning we had Ronak and his therapist, played by Mariabello Sabian,
Yeah.
Dr. Sabian. And then she leaves, they have their banter and whatnot, and he steals his file from her and reads it. And then she ends up coming back because the roads are so bad. So she's stuck there as well.
In a lovely, lovely party dress,
Yeah.
which I'm like, girl, you're in Detroit and you don't even have a cardigan over that dress. Layers.
Yeah.
Which is why I
Uh,
thought she was part of the plan. I was like, you're double crossing them.
Another officer, Capra, arrives and is shot at by the corrupt cops, but makes it inside. But Bishop suspects him of being sent by Duvall when he discovers an unlocked back entrance. Okay, wait a second. So yeah, they repel a bunch of things. I do like how they
Yeah.
paired off,
Yes.
and then we get the
It was cop
scenes
and
with different
criminal.
ones. Yeah, cop and criminal,
Or
cop and criminal, cop and criminal.
cop employee and
Yeah.
criminal.
And then the other cop comes in, they shoot at him. He comes in. It's actually John Leguizamo. Leguizamo?
Leguizamo.
Yeah, his character Beck, who is suspicious of this guy.
Yes.
And it's Bishop that says to Ethan, Ronak, do you vouch for him? Yes, I vouch for him, and they think he's okay. But Bishop sees someone talking to someone at the back door and
Mhm.
thinks it's that cop.
Yes, because he
It's
saw a cop or someone wearing
someone, yeah.
dark jacket. That could be. So he was like, it was him, and he took the handcuffs off the door. And he's like, it
So
wasn't me.
so they handcuff him. Everything seems to be falling apart. These two morons, Beck and Smiley, meanwhile, secretly conspire to escape. Simultaneously, the rest of the defenders plan for Anna and Sabian to escape in Capra's SUV
Mhm.
because the girl that's never committed a crime before knows how to hotwire a car.
Sometimes you learn these skills, okay? You may never have to put them into use in the
Yeah.
real world, but you learn the skills.
Now, when Beck and Smiley sneak out, they are killed by DeVille's men, providing the distraction which allows Anna and Sabine to drive off. I did like this because they got pinned down, Smiley
Yeah.
and Beck, and then and Bishop's like, we can use this. And the two girls go out and she hotwires the truck and takes off.
Yeah.
But they are ambushed by DeVille's right-hand man.
Who's hiding in the back seat.
Yeah.
I feel like we always check the back seat, ladies.
Yeah. So someone tipped them off, obviously. And now there are a few plot holes in this movie. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
But the one because Smiley gets shot in the arm.
Yes.
And and Beck is kind of like, dude, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And Smiley gets shot in the head.
Yeah.
And
then Beck, genius.
The genius that this fucking guy is, decides, you know what I'm gonna do? Instead of running along the snowbank, I'm gonna jump up on this chain link fence and climb up.
Yeah.
And give the snipers a perfect fucking shot at me.
The perfect fucking shot, and just enough and so much time to take the shot.
Yeah.
They were leisurely lining up the shot because he is not a fast fence
Yeah, he's not even
climber.
going up he's going up realistically.
Yeah. If you're an out of shape
Yeah.
middle-aged guy, that's the
Tweaker.
rate he was going up.
Yeah.
That
Oh, yeah.
fence. I'm like, shit,
And
I think even I could go up that fence faster.
But hey, when he's jumping on the fence and starts climbing, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
When he was like, yeah, I'm like, what are you? Why? Why would you just? I'm like, sure, give him a bigger target. Then he gets shot in the head.
And then he gets shot in the head.
And I mean, to be perfectly honest, he kind of asked for it. Like he asked for it. And there's nothing really you can say about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then Anna and Sabine, the doctor, drive off, but they're ambushed. And now you see them kill Anna.
Yes.
And then you don't see them kill the doctor.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, maybe because I don't remember anything. I do not remember.
I
I'm like,
did not remember any of this movie.
Maybe she makes it out.
I remembered vibes from this movie. So I was like, oh, did the doctor die in the crash? And then we find out.
And they just didn't show it. And then they find, we find out they don't. They take her.
Yes.
Whilst DeVille kills Sabian. Oh, yes. So they ask her how many are in there. And she says 100.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, ha ha ha. And then shoots her in the head.
Yeah,
I was shocked at that. I'm like, oh, guess she does. Maybe.
I was left a little unsatisfied at that scene because I was like, that's it? You're not even going to smack her around a little bit?
No. Well, they don't have
you're
time.
Just gonna be 100. No, tell me the real answer. No. Shoot. Okay. Yeah. I'm like, done.
Like if there are two of them there, I could see it.
Yeah.
So then you ask the second person, how many are in there? Oh, 5.
It just went super quick. And I mean,
I thought when they didn't show her get killed, I thought, oh, the sexy doctor makes it. And then he shoots her. I'm like, oh, the sexy doctor didn't make it.
No, she did not make it. And I really thought she was going to make it so that like there could be a love interest there.
Yeah, and that's why I thought maybe they did it. And I appreciate that when movies, I like it both ways. We've established I'm very easily entertained.
You really are.
And Jimmy does like a nice happy ending where, oh, look, Ethan Hawke and the Coyote Girl get together.
Maria Bello, yes.
But I do appreciate it when they kind of switch it and like, oh, I did not expect them to shoot.
See, for me, I just kind of felt bad for Ronik because I was like, sir,
yeah,
you were so close because she looked a little interested. Like once he said, yeah, you want to sleep with me. And she was like, she had that little twinkle in her eye. And I was like, oh, she does. This is a shock. And then, like they kind of had a couple moments and I was like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden she gets shot in the head. And I was like, oh, he's not getting laid.
Nope. Okay, when the snowfall subsides, Duvall calls in a corrupt SWAT team who land on the roof of the precinct. Yeah, so throughout the movie, they're asking like, "When is the weather letting up? When can we get the AV here? The AV here?" I'm like, "What the fuck are they talking? Oh, the air vehicle, the
Yeah.
helicopters comes in."
And here's I had a moment where I was like, this must be costing them a lot of money. And then I realized they're using all of the police resources. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
taxpayers' money.
this is so weird. How are they going to write up this report?
Yeah,
I don't understand. I
yeah,
had that moment, and then I was like, wait, action movie. Nobody
yeah.
cares.
No one cares.
Nobody's doing paperwork in these movies.
They're yeah, but I did like it as they try to go in through the roof. Uh,
Yes.
Now the defenders flee through a utility tunnel
Mm.
underneath the building, and this is when Bishop and Roenick are putting the gasoline throughout the precinct and set it on fire, and they're shooting, and then the air guy, the SWAT team or whatever, has to jump out the windows to get out.
Yes, I did appreciate that. Also, when everything went up in flames, I was like, oh, that's a super controlled fire in a wooden building.
Yeah.
There was wood everywhere. And it was
Oh,
like, it's really sticking to just that one little corridor. And I was like, impressive.
yeah. Emerging from the tunnel, they find themselves surrounded by Duvall's men. The traitor is revealed to be O'Shea and not Capra. Fucking Irish. As Duvall never trust the Irish. Probably got all that information for Mickey.
Dude.
As Duvall prepares to kill the others, Bishop secretly plants a flashbang grenade in O'Shea. I like this scene because they did work on O'Shea and Bishop hating each other right from the beginning. They had
Yes.
banter throughout the entire movie. So when he tried to egg O'Shea into coming over,
Hmm.
it was very, you could see that it flowed very naturally.
Yes,
And
it
he put
did.
the grenade in his pocket and it blew up. And he whispered to Roenick to close your eyes.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
held up the pin and he's like, close your eyes. And the one thing I really love is they established throughout this conflict, excuse me, that they did have those flashbangs. And God, were they fucking bright.
Oh man, yeah, they lit
L-
that precinct up good.
Lit it right up. And I was like, you know what? It's great because then that flashes up. And of course, whatever materials are in it, because they always say close your eyes and cover your ears for those.
Yeah,
But then there's so much like, I guess, phosphorus that ends up on everything. So if you imagine that igniting on you, and then when they showed him, and I was like, oh, nice.
yeah, looked like
That's
it
a,
hurt.
it looked like it hurt. And it also looked like it was just enough damage. Like they didn't go over the top with the damage
No, but
of what a
Wikipedia says
flashbang would give you.
mortally wounding him.
Well, yeah, it's to the gut. Like his entire torso was torn up. And I was like, nice. But it wasn't like guts hanging out torn up. It
No,
was they dragged you on the road, on a gravel road for a few miles torn up.
yeah. In the confusion, Iris and Capra flee in Duvall's SUV.
Mhm.
Kahan shoots out the tires using the vehicle to crash and knock Capra unconscious, but Iris manages to kill Kahan after a struggle. Yeah, that was a pretty good. That was a pretty good fight scene or struggle scene.
Yeah. Iris is very, very smart, and I enjoy her immensely.
Yeah, I like
Um,
that she survived. I always have a soft spot for slutty women, so I'm very glad she made it.
we are not calling her slutty.
I
She is
meant it as
just
a
fun loving.
compliment.
She
Yeah,
is
she
fun
loves a
loving.
lot.
She loves everybody,
Wink.
several times a night. She loves everybody, and she is
I love the
telling people.
story. Yeah, the story she told at the beginning of the movie.
Yes, where the left fielder is watching her have spontaneous sex with, like, a guy she's out with, and she's like, "And I like it when people watch." And I
Yeah,
was like, "Girl, good for you." And then when Rona comes in, she's like, "Can we, like, get off early? Come on, let's just close up shop a little early. I'm wearing my sexy boots." I was like, "Man, you must be so much fun at a party. I love you." But anyways, she is very much awake. Capra's kinda in and out, but she's like, "Capra, you awake?" He's like, "Yeah." "Pretend you're dead."
yeah,
And so he just has to lay there.
yeah.
Good
That'd be
job.
me.
Yeah, for reals. And then she gets out and she manages to hit Kuhan over the head, and they get into a struggle. and I love it because it's a realistic struggle. Like, she's doing all the stuff that us women
Yeah,
are
the
taught,
fighting back, yeah,
like
the
the eyes,
eyes
yeah,
and
for the throat. Like, I think she was trying to reach the Adam's
Ronex.
apple, like Bishop told her.
Oh,
The
yeah, right, yep.
There was the whole rumor that Bishop, like, ripped a guy's
Someone's
spine
spine,
out,
and he said, "No, it was someone's
and he was
Adam's
like, "No, it
apple."
was an Adam's apple.
Yeah,
All you gotta do is hold on and then just, like, hold on tight and pull." And I was like, "Ooh, that's
that would
good.
suck.
I like that." I could totally take out someone's Adam's apple, but I'm not gonna try it unless I'm in mortal danger. But anyways, so you see the struggle, and it's realistic. He's not completely overpowering her, but he does get the upper hand a few times. And then she grabs, this is what happens when you have too many weapons on you, grabs a knife and then just straight up into the chin.
Yeah,
Perfect. Perfect.
yeah. Yeah, it was realistic, and it looked cool too, and it looked
Mm.
like it hurt.
Also, the knife didn't go just like straight in. It was kind of at an angle.
Yeah,
Like, it looked like this was not a professional hit. So I was
yeah.
like, oh, good job, guys.
Duvall chases Roenick and Bishop into a nearby forest where they ambush and kill the remaining forces. However, Duvall shoots and wounds Bishop before being killed by Roenick, who is himself injured in the process. Yeah, this was cool. Like the whole
Yeah.
forest scene, they could have
Can
ended
we
it. Yeah,
can we just talk about real quick how well lit that
the
scene
forest.
is? The lighting is fucking insane. It gave it such a great ethereal, like almost not real vibe.
Yeah, well, it actually looks like kind of like if you're out in the country and it's just the full moon, and
Mhm.
it really did look like that, which is impressive.
It very impressive, very
Yeah,
impressive. I was like, whoever the DP was on this, amazing.
and I liked how they bump into each other, and Roenick is like, "Okay, I'll distract them. You'll
Mhm.
see the muzzle," because they had their night vision goggles, and Bishop's
Yeah.
like, "They can see us, we can't see shit." And eh, Roenick's like, "I will distract them, but you better not fucking miss." And you get that whole thing where he sees the muzzles
Yeah.
shooting off and going.
Well, it's funny because then the bishop's like, run fast,
Yeah, well, yeah.
run fast.
And then we get the thing with Gabriel Byrne's character and Ethan Hawke's character. He's going to take him in, and they both draw on each other. And Ethan Roenick gets shot, Ethan Hawke gets shot, and Gabriel Byrne gets shot right in the head.
My favorite part was that Ethan Hawke got shot in the same leg.
Yeah, yeah. Because he seems really pissed off that
He's
happened.
extra pissed off about it. He's like, fuck, fuck. And it was like, oh my God, it's the same leg.
The same leg.
He finally stopped limping.
Yeah, yeah. He's not limping anymore. Now he got shot in the same fucking leg.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And then he's like, he thinks he's going to take Bishop in, and Bishop's like, no. And he goes, and if you try to follow me, I'll shoot you. And it's
Yeah.
been pretty clear throughout the whole movie that Bishop, while cool, is
Yes.
still a bad guy, and he's still doing bad guy things. And he makes it quite
Yes.
clear to everybody that he is a bad guy. Like, don't mistake him. And he tells them it's for, what does he keep saying to him? Preservation.
Yes.
Yeah, everything I'm
Like
doing is for preservation. So
he has the minions to do the dirty work for him, but he's like,
yeah,
I still know how to do the dirty work. So like, I will come out of this.
yeah, we're not buddies.
We're not friends.
No.
We're trucing it
Yeah,
until we can both walk away. And if you
and
don't let me walk away, I'm gonna shoot you. And it's like, you
then
got to respect that. He's very honest. Because at one point he says, I don't lie.
yeah, I
And I
never
was like,
tell a lie.
I never tell a lie. And I was like, you know what? That's a really good point. And that also proves why Duval would not want him to
Yeah.
be caught. Because he can't, or he won't lie, more accurately.
Following this, an injured Bishop takes Roenick's gun and flees. And Roenick promises to personally arrest him in the future. When Iris arrives with the police and firemen, Roenick claims that only he and Duvall's gang are present, knowing that Bishop can't go too far, but wanting to give him the illusion of liberty. As the authorities secure the area, Roenick and Iris leave the forest as the sun rises. I'm going to say that's our movie, but Iris says something about that she likes this badass take charge.
Mhm.
And he's like, well, get used to it. And I thought, oh, why did you end on a corny note?
Because they
You're
were
gonna,
setting up a sequel.
yeah, not on $35 million worldwide. You're not.
Fuck no. But it was the door. This is this is one of the things about the movies in the 2000s, especially the like 2000 to probably 2006 time. They always left the door open for a sequel at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And it was just a waiting game to see how it did at the box office. And if it
Yep.
did well enough, they're like, beautiful, let's make a sequel, whether it needed one or not. But one of the things I really appreciated is when Iris comes in with like the first responders and whatever. She's like, don't worry, we're sticking with the firemen. There are firemen here. We're going to stick with the
Yeah.
firemen because obviously cops are coming too.
Yeah. Who's
And it's
good?
that
Who's
moment
bad?
of like, who's good, who's bad, who's going to try and shoot us in the head. But I did like the whole like when Iris is like, ooh, this is nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like,
Because he's
yeah,
always after the
I'm
bad
back.
boy.
I know, right? I mean, for a while there, I thought she was going to run off with Bishop. So I was really surprised when she was still there. I was like, oh, Iris, look at you hanging around to get help for this little man. That's nice.
And that is our movie, Assault on Precinct 13, 2005. I don't know what Precinct 19 was doing during this movie, but
That's
they
the
weren't
sequel
helping.
that never got made.
Yeah. So what's your score?
My score is a rent it. It's a rent it mainly because I rented it and I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
I paid $4.99 for it. I think that's perfectly respectable. It was a good way to spend an hour and 46 minutes. It sets up the story. You get a glimpse into enough of the characters. It has a lot of solid action, lots of car like crashes, chases, shooting, things blowing up, those flashbangs that are so fucking bright. And it's a great little where like the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
And they work through it. And at the end, they're not, hey buddy, hey buddy. It's like, I'm gonna walk away, you're gonna let me, or I'm gonna shoot you. And Ronek's just like, all right, peace out, man. Then when they say, is anybody else out here? He's like, no, nobody else is out here. And that was just enough. And I'm like, this was just a straightforward, relatively entertaining action movie. Is it something I'm gonna watch on repeat? No. But I mean, if it ever pops up on TV and I'm bored, yeah, I will 100% watch it because
Yeah.
it's there.
Yeah.
It's not
No,
something I would seek out.
I actually agree. I say it's a solid rent it. Again, I didn't buy it. I rented it. And yeah, I was not mad about it. I enjoyed it. If I saw it for if I bought it for $5 or $6 or $7, I
Mm,
wouldn't have been overly mad. This is not like you just said, something that I'm going to watch anytime soon. But yeah,
yeah.
if I see it on a streamer, I'd watch it again. And
Oh, yeah.
maybe a few years down the road and I see it come up for rent, yeah, I might rent it again. But
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't pay 15, $20 for this.
No.
No.
To buy it, it was $14.99.
Yeah,
So
no.
I saw the buy and I saw the rent. And I said, you know what? I know I watched this
I was
once,
thinking about it too. But
but I
why?
don't know. I was like, but why did I only
Why
watch
haven't
it
I seen it
once?
since
Yeah.
2005?
So I was like, let me rent it just to be on the safe side. And I rented it and I was like, okay, this is worth $5. So if they had it for purchase for $5, 100% I would have bought it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then it would have been in my library. And you know what? Every once in a while, when I wanted something mindless while I'm doing laundry or cleaning something or organizing something, I would put that on in the background. This is a really, really great kind of fun background movie
Yeah.
where, like, every time you kind of tune into it, you're like, oh, yeah, you blowed up something else. Great. But
Yeah.
it's
You
not,
wasted another 857 bullets. Sweet.
yeah. Don't even get me started on action movie shooting
Oh,
because this one had this weird thing where it's like the bad guys were shooting 50 million bullets
so many
and
bullets.
and Ethan Hawke just had to shoot like 5 to kill 5 people. And
Yeah.
I'm like, so you're telling me the SWAT team snipers like Vice, they don't know how to shoot people in the head
No.
unless they're climbing a fence?
It was snowing. Yeah. Unless they're climbing the fence, taking their sweet ass time.
Yeah.
So what did this movie do right? Because we're not saying buy it, but we're not saying just stream it. We're saying that it's worth a few bucks to rent. Because I couldn't find it on a streamer. So if
Yeah.
you remember liking it, we are saying, yeah, it's worth a rental.
It's for
So
the rental if you remember
what the
liking
movie
it.
do right?
I think it did the action right because there was a level of realism to it. It wasn't super slick. It wasn't overly hyped. it kind of stayed at the expertise level that you would expect of metropolitan cops. Not everybody's going to be a martial arts expert. Not
No.
everybody's going to be able to flip over cars and whatever. They were all doing regular stuff, but it was like it was good fights and it was normal fights, but they were extensive fights. And I was like, I like the action. I like how everything, like the flashbangs were incredibly, like those were my favorites for some reason. They really stuck out of my mind because they lit up the entire precinct. It was nuts. But I think they did the action right. I think they did the action right. And some of the dialogue.
I was gonna say the dialogue was pretty good. It
Yeah.
wasn't overly it didn't stand out like
Yeah.
it wasn't Quentin Tarantino. But
Yeah.
it was I think what it did right was it had the actors.
Oh,
Like
100%.
it was the dialogue was decent and
Yeah.
you had the actors and that went a long way. Like you had a lot of actors in this movie. A lot of good actors in this
A
movie.
lot of really great actors.
Yeah.
Really, really great actors.
What did do wrong?
I think it made it too convoluted.
Could have, yeah.
I think there was too much. There was too much. I think they could have streamlined the plot line a little bit. Streamlined
Shave
the
a few
plot.
minutes down and yeah.
Shave a few minutes down. I think they could have definitely done a more efficient job of introducing the criminals who are with Bishop. And I mean, they did an okay job establishing. I think the opening scene might have been a smidge too long, even though it's set up how Ronak got there. But I was like, this feels kind of like the first 46 minutes felt a little too long.
Yeah.
Once Bishop makes it onto the bus, I felt like the movie picked up and got a better pace. But I think they could have streamlined it a little bit.
I wonder if this movie would have done better if it had more of an action, like the slow-mo jumping and shooting. Maybe you
I don't
should have
think
had
so.
a karate guy.
I
No,
think if
it
they
might
made,
that might have just been like, oh, for fuck's sake.
yeah, they would have been like, really? The guy who's been drunk and high for like the last couple or the last like year is really going to be jumping over. Like he was already doing quite a bit of like jumping behind things and running away from bullets and never getting hit.
Yeah. But I will you are right. It was realistic in the sense because they were reacting like you would in real life.
Yes.
This wasn't just running and jumping like the slow-mo jumps and this was like awkwardly trying to move around and not get hit type thing. Realistically, more people inside the building should have got hit, but
Oh yeah,
they
100%.
did react very realistically, or at least our
From
definition
what
of realistic.
it felt more natural,
Yeah,
we'll put it, rather than everybody miraculously being able to move at the speed of light or being able to hop over, counters and whatever. There was just some stuff where, and there was a lot of like, "What are you doing? Get out of the way!" And I like that in action movies because not everybody is trained. But for some reason, mind you, where was one of the scenes? I think they were. Oh, it was in the very beginning. This got on my nerves a little bit when the female undercover cop goes outside and she's scanning the area. She's
oh
literally
yeah,
just standing in the middle of that area, not covered at all.
no. Is
Like she's
this
not
like the
standing.
garbage?
Yeah,
I did kind of like that. Yeah, you wouldn't stand like that, but I did like how the guy disappeared behind the
that I
trash,
liked.
and then
That I
she's
liked
like,
a lot.
"Fuck, is he gonna come out the right or the left?"
Yes,
I
but
would have screamed and ran away.
yes, you would have.
Yeah,
But she had bigger balls than you, so she stayed.
yeah,
But like I was like, a cop would never do that. So I'm like, eh. But overall, I was also like, well, I mean, she had to pretend to wake up from like a drug induced like sleep and then like run down the hall, run outside, go looking for the guy who just shot her coworkers.
yeah,
It's so fantastic. Honestly, it's a fun movie and it is a little more realistic or natural in its action.
yeah.
It could have been streamlined a little bit, could have been cleaned up a little bit, but it's not bad at
No,
all.
no. No, so if you remember liking Assault on Precinct 13 from 2005, you probably will like it again. We're not saying
Mm,
buy it. It is worth a rental. The actors play a heavy part in this being as good as it was. But yeah,
yes.
I wouldn't spend too much on this movie.
No.
No.
If you can buy it for like a severe discount,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I
maybe.
was fine with renting it.
Yeah, me
If I
too.
would have paid $15, I would have been like, "Ugh."
Oh yeah, no, I would have been a little pissed because
Yeah,
I'd be like, well, now I got to watch it at least 3 times to make it worthwhile.
yeah. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah,
To buy a movie, and there's movies that I can do that easily, and
yeah.
then this one, like I said, well, like you said, if I see it down the road, yeah, I'll watch it on TV. I might
Hmm.
even rent it in 4 or 5 years if I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming back to 2005 and watching us or talking about Assault on Precinct 13. Tell us if you liked it or did not like it below. And oh, wait, what am I going? Oh, I
I don't
keep
know.
forgetting. Until the next movie we remember liking.
Congratulations. You just had one of your childhood movie memories vindicated. Or they just eviscerated it. I don't know. This is a generic one-size-fits-all type of ending to the podcast. So thank you for listening, and please join Anna and Jimmy next time for another episode of the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. If you dare to go back and watch that movie you remember liking,